we're going to be hearing about a wonderful new TV series called Hong Kong Stories, Treasures of Hong Kong. Now, you can watch it on RTHK TV 32 every Tuesday evening at 9:30 p.m. And of course, revisit it anytime on the archive. It's on YouTube and also on our RTHK website. And to talk more about the program, I'm really delighted to be joined by the team, by the brains behind this show, Noyes Poon, who's the executive producer of the show. I'm really excited also to be joined by Becky Lee, renowned actress and musician here in Hong Kong. It's amazing that you're working together with RTHK this time about the Hong Kong Stories, Treasures of Hong Kong. What was your experience like?
It's really great, but it's very different collaboration indeed, because I used to do variety shows that mainly focus on like how delicious the food is, how brilliant the products are, and even the travelogue that me and Noyes did 2013 in Italy.
You guys have worked together before.
Yes.
How can you say the years?
I know, it's like 10 years ago.
Yes.
And that one we also focused on, travel and eat, play, shop, etc. But this time we actually focus on the precious relationship that's behind the business and different kinds of love that keeps us all together for so many years. And despite challenges and difficulties, they still survive. So I think it allows me to have a deeper conversation with the interviewees, and also I can have a live exchange with them, and I learn a lot.
Yeah, Becky, I love the way you connect with your guests. I love the way you connect. Can you share some highlights with some of our listeners? You filmed it all. What sorts of highlights sort of come to your mind?
I do have so many things to share with you, but I think I found one common pattern for success is that all the owners treasures their employees and helpers to an extent that they actually treat them as their family. So provide them with security, care for them. And that's why many of the employees stayed with the company for decades. And both sides witness each other, from youngster to husband to father or even grandfather. And this close relationship somehow makes them willing to walk an extra mile for each other, and also for the business, which translates into not abandon one another in tough times, won't reserve when they have new ideas to contribute, and even when disagreement arise, they won't let that stand in the way for their striving for success.
Yeah, because a lot of these businesses are generational, so it's from father to son. For example, when White Congee meets Black Sesame.
Yes. You watch it. Yeah.
Amazing story. And I just wonder, if young people have the same sort of momentum or the drive. But I think, I don't want to give so much away, but I thought the son for the dessert shop really sort of wanted to continue his father's dream, and it became his dream as well. Was that the impression you got for many of the people that you interviewed, that, it was no longer their family business, it became their own sort of business, and they wanted to strive to make it survive?
Yeah, they're having a lot of touching stories that I really connect with them. And I remember when I watched it again, like the one that you talked about, I nearly cried. And my husband was sitting next to me. He's like, hey, what are you doing? You actually have been through everything, and you're watching it and you still cry. What happened?
It's different when you're in the moment interviewing and when you're actually watching it again.
Yes.
It's a different experience.
Yeah. And they edited it, Noyes and the team edited it in a really touching way that we really love it. And it's very different from other variety shows that only focuses on products and foods.
Yeah.
When I talk to the interviewees, we actually need to set an environment or a setting that we feel comfortable talking with each other.
You're right, because when you meet these interviews, you have to build the trust and the rapport very quickly. What sorts of conversations do you have with them before the interview to sort of warm them up a little bit?
I do feel that I'm really privileged, because some of them recognize that I acted in some dramas and a lot of variety shows and listened to my songs before. So we can always start the conversation with those things that they have heard, they have listened to, and how they resonance with them. So I think it's a good way to start.
Yeah, good that you found Becky to be your host.
Of course, I'm so blessed to have Becky to have as our presenter, because really some of the owners at the very beginning, they're kind of reserved. But after they see Becky's and feel more comfortable, yeah, that's true. And she can ask more questions that we really want to, and then we can get our answer finally. So that's the very good part. Yeah. And
yeah, it's a real skill to have to, be able to have that conversation, keep it going and ask the questions that people want to ask, but don't really know how to ask. So absolutely. You've interviewed so many different people from different industries now, Becky. If you had to envision yourself starting a business in any of those industries, what would it be?
Among all those businesses that we've been visited, I can't see myself doing any of them because my strength lies in the ability to reach people's heart and to understand them, to empathize with them, and also help them to verbalize their emotions when it's not something like, especially for Chinese culture, that we used to. So I think having the chance to communicate with them, facilitating them to express their true feelings, provide a relaxing and joyful environment that we talked about just now, for them to de-stress, I think, and exchanging positive energies and thoughts with each other is a thing that I so keen on doing nowadays. And that's why I was also doing it through different means, like hosting this especially meaningful TV program and also teaching singing with healthy voice production methods and producing original songs that inspires.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners will also agree with that and is a fan of your work. Well, Becky, I know it's also our honor. You brought along a piece of music, a song for our listeners today. Can you share what you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Thank you so much for mentioning about it. Yes, I actually brought the second part of Reflections trilogy. That the first song of the trilogy was from the movie that I've made last year, and that talked about be brave to face your past. And today is the second part of the trilogy. It's called Be Kind to Yourself, because we always struggle every day, and mostly we treat ourselves harshly and keep doubting ourselves, but never really ask how's the one you see in the mirror. So that's very important. And we always believe in false lies that people say that we're useless, worthless, ugly, stupid, so on and so on. But the truth is we can refocus our perspectives because you are actually lovable, worthy, valuable, acceptable, forgivable, and most importantly, capable. So when we can be kind to ourselves, we understand that we are worthy. So how can you love your neighbor if you don't know how to love yourself?
Very wise words indeed. Well, let's have a listen. And meanwhile, thank you so much, Becky Lee and Noya Spoon, for joining us. And for our listeners, go check out all the episodes. It's available on our archive. And of course, you can catch it live on RTHK TV 32 every Tuesday evening at 9:30. And that's Hong Kong Stories, Treasures of Hong Kong. Brilliant bit of TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you.